Net tonight
Linus Olmark will be starting in goal tonight.
and the rest at game time.
We'll be going with 6 and 12, and we'll be showing the lines and the pairs tonight.
Ralph, what is the balance and the thought process now of 11-7 versus 12-6 now with the way the roster is constituted?
It's really just a day-to-day decision. We have a lot of power in both of those different looks, and it's looking at the opposition, see what's coming at you, where we are in the amount of games we've played in a period of time. And sometimes the 7-11 seems to feel better, and these are usually gut decisions. And we just feel 6-12 is what we need here tonight.
There was so much talk over the weeks about the power play. Penalty kill was struggling at times too and didn't get that kind of talk, but now the penalty kills, I think 9 of the last 10. Your goalie's a big factor, but why has it improved the last 4 games?
Well, and especially against Toronto in those 2 games, they beat us in the special team game. They outchanced us in both of those games. We outchanced them 5-on-5, and so that's going to be very important that we maintain the confidence. I think it is about that. The guys have, we had a lot of opportunity for a while, and now we're scoring on the power play, and the penalty kill has just a better mojo. There's just a better feel there, and the guys are synced really well. They're putting pressure when it's necessary, and they're finding their spaces really well. And we need to build on that tonight. We need to win the specialty team game again.
Ralph, when one has a bullseye on his back, as Jack has the entire season, what has been the key to his consistency so far, and what appears to be a breakout year for a superstar?
Well, it's really important, of course, the support he's getting from his line mates. Olofsson and Reinhardt both are able to read off Jack really well. That line works strongly in both directions, and Jack's commitment to the game without the puck has been tremendous for us, and his leadership on both sides of the puck. But he's just a world-class athlete and player, and is able, with any spaces, make something out of it. And there's very few players in the league that are a threat one-on-one, and he's definitely at the top of the pile. And his conditioning, his fitness is very high. And he's having a lot of fun, which is, I think, an important element in his success.
If you focus that even more, what do you think has helped Jack go to that extra level maybe the last few weeks here?
Well, again, he's maturing. I mean, he went through 4 years in the National Hockey League, and I think the pain from last year was a big test of where his career was going to go, and he has processed it like a winner. And he, in that adversity, grew, and he made a lot of decisions through the summer in the conversations we were having that showed that winner within him, and he's made a lot of really good decisions here. He's like all of us. We're keeping our picture really small. We're working day to day, and not so worried of all the white noise that there is always that tracks you in the National Hockey League. And keeping that outside of our inner space has been important, not only for Jack but for the whole group. And I think we've done a good job of that.
There's a long list of 7th-round draft picks from Sweden who made an impact. Victor's the latest. What has been the key to his success here in his rookie year, given what some of those, in terms of predecessors, have done as well?
I think it's a really good question on Victor Olofsson. He's everybody knows my past from Europe, and I've tracked so many players on their evolution. And often in North America, we treat the 19-year-old European like a 19-year-old North American, and you shouldn't do that, because the way they're developed there, they don't have the competition and the pressure that you have over here as you're 16, 17, 18, 19. So Victor staying in Sweden a little longer was really good for his development, to put in a few more years against men in the Swedish Elite League, then also paying the price of going into the American League for a year. I think it's really important for European players to be able to spend that time. And we had outstanding teaching in Rochester going on all last season, led by Chris Taylor and our minor league program. And so the evolution of Victor Olofsson is really a good example and prototype for European players, the way I see it. I've always said the 23-year-old European is like the 19-year-old North American, and should be treated that way.
You've got 2 lines really going. What are you working on with the other 2 lines to get them going?
I mean, we really have one line that's very dominant, and the other 3 are actually all scoring threats. And of course, the Larson, Gergensen, Okposo line is one that is doing a lot of special things for us when it's asked for. And I think that for us, it's still a group dynamic that needs to happen. We feel good with all four lines playing against anybody at any time, and it's it's going to continue to be necessary for us to maintain this pace, to stay in the race, which was what we're trying to do. We need all four lines firing, and we feel comfortable with them all right now, and we're mixing and matching and changing around that group quite often. Other than the Eichel line, there's been a lot of changes, and everybody can play with everybody, and it depends on how the game's going and what the feels like. That lineup will continue to change.
What's your philosophy on the morning skate, and has it changed over the years?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. The pace we've been on since we came back from Sweden has been crazy. We had 21 and 38, and just looking at the season this year, we felt that any place we can gather energy is of value, and for sure the pregame skates. You need to do something else though, and the work we do off ice and the commitment these guys have to the work off ice has been amazing, whether it's their pre-activation or their lifts after games. And so we use the pregame skate time in a different way, but there is a physical activation going on right now as I speak, and it's probably also on the psychological side, just trying to keep the quality high and the quantity low where you can. The games are not changeable, and the spaces that you have in there are always going to be the same, but it's what you do with the rest of the space that's important, and this is one of them that we're trying to capitalize on.
Casey Mittelstadt was just sent down. What would you like to see him accomplish in Rochester?
Well, Casey, I mean, if we spoke about Victor Olofsson, I think for Casey, just some reps in the American League will do him well. His ice time, will be high, and he can get some power play and offensive time that he maybe wasn't able to get here lately. And it's all about reps for a 20-year-old that will only do him well. And his attitude, his work ethic, the way he went through last summer was outstanding. And this is nothing but a positive step for him insofar as we're doing what's best for Casey Mittelstadt to take the next step to be the player we need. And as a centerman in the National Hockey League, as a young centerman, it's like the D-men thrown in young. There's so much speed in the league right now. It's very difficult to play defensively without the puck on a consistent basis for a young player. And we'd also like him to continue to develop that side of his game where, before he came in the National Hockey League, he had the puck the whole game, so he didn't have to play without it. And we're going to be doing some really good work with him down there.
Ralph, can you talk about Sabres and Bills, how they're connected, and what it's meant to you and your players?
Yes, I mean, Sean McDermott and I are communicating here and there with each other, and the organization, having that connection at the top, the passion the Pegulas are showing for both organizations is tremendous, and the people they are, we're all about treating people right in both organizations, and Sean and I are both passionate about feeding the hunger of the Buffalo sports population. It's a very, very passionate base, connected strongly here to Toronto too. We have a lot of people loving the Bills up here. Yesterday I went out for dinner. A lot of people spoke to me about the Bills making the playoffs, which is nice. But we exchange at the sports science level. We exchange at the off-field and off-ice level. There's a lot of natural flow of information going on there, which I find really interesting, and it's a wonderful opportunity for me to learn and grow as a leader, having that relationship with the Bills, which is, I would say, as strong as any NHL team has with another sport in North America.